keep it real with ya.
And I read everything through with my therapist, and my therapist was like, "So is it over? I'm like, I mean, she said it was over. She asked me if it was over, and I said, no, we're still friends. But then she said, no, it's over. Our friendship is over, and it's your fault, and you ruined it. So I said, I guess it's over. You know, you said it was over, it's over, whatever. And so my therapist was like, well, since it's over, is if there's anything that you want to say, if there's anything left over that you feel like you didn't say, that you feel like you need to say, you should say it. Not because it will click with her, not because she will come around, not because any of that, but just for the sake of validating my own feelings and not silencing myself, that I should just get it out and say whatever it is that I want to say. Now, in the past, when I was still trying to save this, I was single-handedly trying to save this relationship. Um, I was trying to think really, really hard about what I was going to say before I said it, and I wanted my therapist to sign off on the things that I was going to say to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong, because I'm always scared that I'm doing things wrong. But I mean, if it's over, let me write up a message and say whatever it is that I want to say and just get it out there. And I didn't expect any response from her. Honestly, I thought I was blocked. At that point, as angry, as mad as she was at me. So it was really just a thing that I was writing for myself so that I can say that I said everything that I needed to say. So I worked it out with my therapist, and I sent a message, and the message was really just basically my shock about how the conversation went. Like, I can't believe that you ended the friendship because I told you that I was hurt. Like, I told you that my feelings were hurt. And then I didn't answer the call when you called me, and you ended the friendship. Like, it's one thing if you don't talk to me for a while and then you come back and then we talk. Like, we could have did that. But for you to definitively say like our friendship is over and it's your fault, Minu, like you ruined this, all that stuff. Um, I'm just in shock because we had been through so much, we had shared so much, you know, we supported each other through so many tough times. And this really was not like, it was a big enough issue that it needed to be stated, but it was not a relationship ending issue. It was not, like, it's not like she got on the phone with me and was like, you know, I bet your mother's a good person and you're a terrible person, like, or said something that like really was just like off the wall that she needed to apologize for. It's not like we got into like a big argument randomly on the phone and then that kick started the series of events. Like, we didn't talk for a while, and it hurt me because we were talking all the time, even sometimes when I didn't feel like talking. And she was like, no, I'm not going to let you get off the phone, I want to continue talking. Or she'd be like, she'll call me but I won't answer, and then she'll message me, please answer, please pick up the phone. And then I'd be like, oh my god, what's going on? Nothing, I just felt like talking to you. It was like, okay, sure, let's spend 4 hours on the phone now. And you know what I mean? Like, it was clear that she enjoyed the relationship, that she enjoyed talking to me. She called me, it was almost all the time. She was calling me all the time, all throughout the day, texting me in the middle of the night. Even when I was asleep, I would wake up to a message, I would reply to the message, you know, calling me at 9 in the morning, all the way until like 10 at night. And you guys know I take meds to go to sleep. I've literally sat up high after taking my prescription medication to talk to her, you know? And so, yeah, it is weird for somebody who calls you multiple times a day, every single day for weeks, if not months at that point, to just not speak to you for a week. That is weird, you know? Um, and it was upsetting because we both got used to talking to each other that much. There would be times she would call me and she'd be like, I just hadn't talked to you in a day, so I need to talk to you. We just need to talk to each other. Like It's like we both want to talk to each other. That's not the issue here. It's not like you just suddenly felt like I was smothering you or something, because you're the one that's always causing calling me when you want to talk. There was no reason, there was no reason stated for you to go from, calling me all day long, morning, noon, and night, being on the phone for, 4 or 5 hours at a time, getting off the phone for 15 minutes, getting back on the phone, um, talking through breakfast, lunch, and dinner, talking through bathroom breaks, like all up each other's butts, and then silence. So yeah, it is weird. And I have feelings, can't deny that I felt some type of way about it. These are my emotions. I can't control them. They just happen. And the more I read through the text, like she literally messaged me and was like, read through those texts, like look, like basically saying like, look at you, like look at yourself, look how you're acting in these messages. And I'm like, me? The more I reread these texts, because I've been rereading them, the more I reread them, I was like, I was very respectful, mature, loving, empathetic, understanding of something that I didn't even know about. Like I was just assuming there were things going on that you needed support in, that I wanted to be there to support you in, you know, and you were arguing with someone else. It's like you had two people in your phone named Minu, and one of them was coming at you crazy, and you were texting the other one, because there was nothing I said that was like that. And I have two therapists. So the first therapist was like, this is no, this is good. Not, I'm not happy about the way that she's speaking to you right now. Um, and then the other therapist I don't see as often, so I had to read things to her, and she was like, "What? Why is she saying that? But you didn't say that." And it's like, looking through them, it's like I was being so respectful and mature, and she was just popping off at the mouth. And now I can be empathetic. You know me. I know everything about everybody. I can be empathetic to the fact that it does not feel good to know that you hurt somebody. It does not feel good to know that someone you care about is upset at you. People have different reactions to that. I have a friend who, if I told her that she hurt me, she would probably cry and be sad that she hurt my feelings. I have another friend that would immediately tell me how much they love me. And I have another friend that, depending on what it is I'm upset about, they could be like, but I'm right though. Like, you know, it doesn't feel good. And so her response it was defensiveness, but also attacks. And it was just upsetting. And I can make assumptions, about, maybe she was talking to somebody about it and they hyped her up and she felt like she had to be tougher. Also, too, it could just be how she deals with conflict. And like I said, like I've seen her interacting with people closer to her, where she was, when the conflict happens, she's the bigger person and she wants to understand and she wants to support, even if the other person's not making any sense. But I've also seen her do the opposite and do what she did here, but she did it with people she was not connected to, that she did not care about, you know, people to her who didn't mean anything to her. I've seen her act that way towards them, and I never thought she would act that way towards me, because I was like, but we care about each other and we're close. So she wouldn't talk to me the way she talked to that person. But I guess the second I, said you hurt me, that you upset me, I became one of those people that she didn't care about. And that's why she spoke to me the way she did. Um, and it's not healthy. It's very toxic, and it's very upsetting, because the only reason I even, like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that I'm realizing, that the relationship was not as balanced as I would like to think it was. Um and it was not as healthy as I would like to think it was, but the way I saw it at the time, you know what I mean? Um I wanted to preserve the friendship. I wanted to keep it going. Like we both got benefits out of the relationship. There was things that she helped me with, there was things that I helped her with. It's not like it was just like a terrible toxic relationship the whole time, but it was one of those things where, as long as I don't have an issue with you and I never raise any issues, there's never any conflict. Well, There's never any conflict coming from me. She could have as much conflict with me as she wants to, and I would just bend over. But as long as there's no conflict coming from me, as long as I don't have any issues, or I have them but I don't state them, and I don't do anything to make her upset, we can have an amazing relationship that's full of love and support and everything, right? Um, but if I need to have a difficult conversation, if I need to say, hey, my feelings were hurt, then suddenly I'm a completely different person than the person that I've been. And she feels the need to, act the way she acted, and it was very upsetting because it makes me feel like, okay, well, this is why it's not okay to tell people when they hurt you. This is why it's not okay to speak about your emotions and your feelings, because you speak up and then you get shut down. I know that's not true, but I just don't have a lot of experiences where that's worked out. But it's very emotionally immature for sure. Um, and I think that if I give it some time, that she will, when she's in a different state of mind, be able to see things more clearly. But she ended the friendship, so we're done. We're done. You know, there's no coming back after that. Like, if she had said nothing, I still would have held out hope. But like, once you end the friendship, ain't nothing else for us to talk about. Like, after I sent that last message, she messaged me, and she was like, so are we gonna talk on the phone about this or not? And I was like, ain't nothing to talk about. You ended the friendship. Once you say those words to me, we can't come back. That's why I'm always so careful about what I say to people, because I know there's some things you say you can't take back. Well, no, anything you say you can't take back. Once you say things you can't take back. I've said things in the past where I was like, I shouldn't have said it that way. But now I have to deal with the consequences of the fact that I did say it that way. I can't pretend that I didn't say it. You know, people who are like, yeah, I said all that horrible stuff, but I was mad. I'm not mad no more, so we good. No, we're not good. Yeah, I saw that. The only time you get an excuse is if you're having like a psychotic episode. Like, I have friends with mental illness who've called me during a psychotic episode, and in those times I'm willing to waive everything that you say. um but I don't care if you were drunk, I don't care if you were angry, I don't care if your feelings were hurt. Once you say stuff, you can't unsay it. And that's why I told her this. That's why I put so much effort into making sure that I am saying things the right way and the respectful way, that I'm not talking to you crazy. And you did not give me any of that consideration or care. You just said whatever you felt like saying, and you think it's okay. Like, once you tell me, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have a friendship, there's no phone call to be had. Like, I mean, we could trade, we could say whatever we want, but like, there's no phone call to be had that's going to resolve the issue anymore, because you've already acknowledged openly that you don't care about me anymore. So at this point, the only thing you're trying to accomplish by having a call is to railroad me, to get me to finally admit that there was never an issue and that I was just making up stuff to pick a fight with you. That's the only thing that you're trying to get at this point out of a phone call. And I'm not doing that. I'm not engaging with that. She sent me another voice message. I ain't listen to it. Because I'm not engaging anymore. Like, I got out what I wanted to say. I said what I wanted to say. And I said it for me. I don't place closure in anybody else's hands. Because I mean, you think that Brandi was gonna give me closure? No. I don't place closure in anybody else's hands. I place it in my hands, okay? And closure for me was making sure I said everything that I wanted to say, unfiltered at that point, because the friendship was over. I don't do like people who, like, they have a huge blow up and they say a bunch of mean things and they hate each other and they're not friends, and then like 2 weeks later they hanging out again. I don't do that. I don't forget what people say to me, and if I never like talk about it, yeah, it's gonna sit bad with me. It's gonna make me feel upset. It's gonna make me feel uncomfortable. There's no way to come back from you ending the friendship. Even if in your mind you thought it was over, but you were open to like a conversation still, then you could have did that. But because you stated that it was over, then it was over. But that's how stuff happens to me sometimes, you have to push me really, really far to stop fighting for a friendship. Like you got to push me real far for me to give up on you completely. And then when I do give up on you completely, I'll let you know. Yeah. It was just very, very unfortunate. And on some level, I'm gonna ask my therapist about this next week. I'm like, on some level, I wonder if my therapist already knew this. Cause I had to tell people, like this person, like she and I were so close. Everybody I knew about her because I couldn't stop talking about my amazing best friend and how awesome she is and how she does all these things and she's so cool and she's so smart and she's so beautiful and all this stuff. Everybody knows about her. So I had to tell people that we weren't friends anymore. And they were like, "What? But you guys were so close." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, we were. But apparently not anymore." And it's like having to like re-explain like the situation too. I was telling my friend, they were like, I mean, if you had told me this, I would have told you that this was not healthy. And I was like, yeah, but you think I would have listened to you? Like, no, I would have told you, like, but you don't hear the good parts though. You know what I mean? Like, I know how I would have acted. And so part of me wonders if my therapist saw the issues, but didn't say anything directly because she knew that I would not be receptive to it. So she had to let things play out. And something that would have been simple in a healthy relationship, such as telling someone they hurt you, maybe she knew that that was going to be like a nail in the coffin. Or maybe she felt like it could go either way, but this is the test to see whether or not this is a healthy friendship or not. And Brandi failed the test. She didn't just fail the test. She didn't even take the test. Like she just balled up the paper and threw it at my head and stomped out of the room. Like, and it's not that I did this as a test, but I'm gonna ask my therapist if she knew this all along and she knew it would go this way all along. and and she was just like letting it play out because I wasn't gonna get it through my head until it happened this way. I'm gonna ask her because my therapist always 10 steps ahead, so I feel like she already knew this. But I'm not gonna lie and say if someone had told me sooner that it wasn't a healthy relationship that I would have believed them. No, no. I would have been complete in denial. Again, I tell you, when I decide that you are my friend, I don't easily decide people are my friends. When I decide that you are my friend, you are on a pedestal, okay? You are above me, you know, like you are every wonderful thing I can think of in my life. Anyone try to tell me different, I don't listen. Even my other friends try to tell me different, I don't listen because you up here. You're too good for me. Like I love my friends to hell and back. So I know that I would not have been receptive to them telling me. In fact, I think there's another friend who the last time I was upset at Brandi, I didn't say anything about it. Um, and I decided like to just let it slide because I was scared that if I said something that it would be taken the wrong way and all of the stuff that actually happened. Um, but when I told the friend about it and like how they had hurt my feelings that time, they were like, "This is a red flag." And I was like, "Man, now you think everything's a red flag, though? Come on now, like all you see is red flags. Like you don't understand like all the other stuff." And they were like, "Oh, you can have there can be a lot of good things, but this situation is still a red flag." And how they treated you in that moment. And I was like, "Yeah, but like it's they got a lot of stuff going on." Like I made every excuse in the book that time. And I never addressed it. I never said anything. I just quietly seethed about it until I was able to convince myself that I was over it. And I just continued on with the relationship. And I shouldn't have done that. Because maybe, I don't know. I was going to say, like, maybe I could have saved it. No, I couldn't have saved it. I couldn't have saved it. It was imbalanced, and there was no room for there was room for my emotions when it pertained to other people. There was not room for my emotions when it pertained to Brandi. And that was always going to be an issue. No matter what time frame it was or when I tried to have a difficult conversation, that was always going to be an issue. Um, and I have to be honest with myself about that because the way she was talking, it was very easy. If I didn't have my therapist and my best friends, like if it was just me and her and she was talking to me that way, I would have been like, you know what? I'm crazy. I imagined the whole thing. She's right. Nothing actually happened. I'm just making up stuff. Like I would have believed her because she was really serious about how this was all just a made up issue. Um, and I had to check. I had to do like a reality check with my therapist. Like I'm I'm right to have feelings, right? Like this it's okay that I'm upset, right? Like am I upset over nothing? Like you have to tell me if I am. She was like, "No, it makes perfect sense that this was something that would upset you." And I was like, "Okay, I just got to check." Then I come back, "Okay, are you sure?" And she's like, "Yes." And I'd be like, "Okay, I just had to check again to make sure that I had a right to be upset about this or that or this." So yeah. Anyway, so, well, new apartment, new city, new life, new friends. Not everybody can come with you to the next stage of your life. And this is definitely the next stage of my life. And I guess I feel a little better now. One, that I've talked to both my therapist about it, but two, you know, I'm through the move, which was the most stressful thing. And then her making the decision to end the friendship really just cut a lot of time out of this because like it was one day away from me seeing my therapist again and then working out another response to try to continue trying to save the relationship. Um and I would have just continued stressing about it and trying to like fix things, and I would have kept pushing. Like I literally would have kept pushing to resolve this issue and preserve the friendship. But that's a two-way street. So it is a relief that she decided to go ahead and end things because now I don't have to stress about trying to please my friends. I don't have this issue with my other best friends. Like, isn't it nice to say best friends? But I don't have this issue with my other best friends. Like, it just doesn't happen like that because they're very in tune with my emotions as well. And it's very much like it's more mutual, it's more balanced. Um, so so you really like she took off the stress of that and then I also dropped the stress of my move. So I feel really good. And the cats also feel really good. Like the cats also are just like they're just napping. Like they don't even care it's a new place. They just sleep, napping, having a good time. Morticia's trying to wedge herself into smaller crevices and she keeps getting locked in a closet. But outside of that, everything's going really, really well. And I feel like a huge weight is off my chest because I really did feel the burden of having to save the friendship and then I would have had to carry the friendship and all that stuff. And I don't have to do that anymore. So I feel a lot better. I feel a lot lighter. But I am going to continue, trying to get a good circle of friends, trying to find my tribe of people that I share interest with and stuff. Can't go to Comic Cons because, can't go to conventions because it's uh, overstimulation. But I'm still going to be open, especially in a new city, to meeting new people and making new friends. So we'll see how that goes. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me. I hope you are taking care of yourself because who else is going to do it, right? Drinking your water, taking your naps, eating food, and just, being kind and gentle to yourself because your feelings are valid and they're real and they deserve to be heard and you deserve to be seen. Um, and thank you guys for watching me so I can be seen as well. Like I always say at the end of my videos, well, I'm need to always say at the end of my videos, join the Discord, really nice community there, really nice people. Support me on coffee, you throw me a few dollars here and there, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Follow me on Instagram. And, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all of that stuff that helps the algorithm. Because if it's not asexuality, my videos do not be getting anywhere. They do not get out there. People don't see them. People don't hear about them. Um, and I am not that good at SEO or editing or thumbnails or anything like that. So everything you do helps. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.